Hi, Porik here for Complete Composition. Welcome to the review of the Fuji Finepix S4000. With this review, I'll be kind of doing it in two different ways. I'll be going through the pros, kind of showing you what I think of each individual thing, the good sides and then the bad sides. And in the end I'll give it a score. Now this score is based off my personal impression, not off the price, not off anything else, but my personal impression of what annoyed me and what I liked. Let's get on with it. Okay, so the first thing I'd say about this camera is that people probably get a little bit confused about it. This is not a DSLR, okay? Some people call it a hybrid DSLR, some people call it other things. It is a bridge camera, and I would say that is what you need to remember if you're going to buy this. This does not have the performance of a DSLR. It does not have any kind of professional implements that they would have. Yet, it does have some very nice features, and I'll get to them soon. The back first, we'll start with. We have some features here. We have the macro mode and super macro mode, which is quite good on this camera, I have to say. We have the light mode, that's the flash, sorry, I beg your pardon, flash mode. We have the zoom mode, which is for taking pictures within pictures. And we have the timer for taking portraits or whatever else. Then you have a play button for playing back your videos and pictures, and a display and a back, like a navigation button more than anything. And then up here we have a shutter speed button here to change that. Now the screen is nice and big. I'll turn it on so as you can see that a bit better. Okay, so there you go. The screen is nice and big, very clear, I have to say that, no complaints there. There you go. Now, onto the top. Well, the top has some interesting features onto it. First things first, Finepix color button here. Now I've never ever used it, and again I doubt anybody will probably will, but you know, it's an option there and it's a nice extra. We have the on off button here. Again, I'll put up a graphic, hopefully this will make it clear for you. And we have a shutter speed and portrait mode buttons here. And the most important thing here is the telephoto to wide angle lens zoom, which is very handy because if you're using the camera like this, all you have to do is move your finger left and right, and it's very nice, I have to say, I like that. We have the dial mode on top as well. Here. We have the dial mode on top as well. Okay, so we have all the different dials, PASM standard. But this does mean that we use what's known as priority modes. So if you're changing the shutter speed, you can't alter anything else. If you're changing the ISO, which you only have two options for, by the way, you don't have full control over the ISO, then the rest of the options are locked out. So I would say this camera suits kind of a very specific kind of user, photography user. Anyway, moving on. We have the flash button pop up here, okay, which pops the flash up. You can see that, maybe. And it just snaps back down. And that's basically most of the camera. Now we have our SD card slot slash batteries go in the bottom here. And we have our HDMI here with our USB cable option. Now we do have a button on the front that you can switch from the display to the electronic viewfinder. Try and let you see that. There you go. And that is quite handy, especially if you're in certain conditions that you can't see exactly what you're doing. It'll, you know, that's perfect. Right, now let's get on to the pros and cons. First thing to say about this camera is that I think it's been mislabeled more than anything else. People see this camera and they think, you know, it's equivalent of a Nikon D60 or a Nikon D5000 or D3000, whatever. This is not. Okay, there is no hot shoe. Okay, you can't put in any external thing. There's no audio input. There's only one microphone, which means you're recording in mono, and that's about as much near as it goes to being a proper, you know, DSLR. It records in 720 HD, 720p HD, and I've tried recording and it's not bad. It's not great. I've seen better for, you know, cameras are in the same price at 720, and even I think the Fuji do a HS10, which is a slight £20 more, something like that, and that has full 1080, which is nice. But this does 720, and if you're not, you know, a vlogger or someone who does things a lot on the internet or on YouTube or anything else, this is quite nice for just picking up those moments. There's one really serious problem. As you might have seen in one of my videos, this one here, the noise of the zoom while you're recording is dreadful. okay? It's not bad, it's really, really dreadful. There's a lot of crunching noises, there's a lot of button noises that seem to seep through into the camera and to record the device itself. Now, I've tested this a million times and I cannot get rid of that noise. The only way to get rid of it is to take the optical zoom from the video mode back to digital. And again, I would never use digital. I would never recommend or even use digital on a camera. Digital zoom, that is. The point of this camera, I think, is being misunderstood. This isn't to try and copy a DSLR, you know, professional or an entry-level one for photographers. I personally think this is going to be perfect for somebody who's never used a camera of this style. They feel completely put off by any, you know, professional cameras because they just feel daunted by the task of trying to learn them. And I think this will bridge that gap tremendously, and in that sense I think it has its place. Now I know there's other bridge cameras out there as well, but I think this one tops the bill because for one, you have the easy control buttons, okay, very easy, very simple, nice big display, okay, no trying to stare into the display to see what options are there, very, very clear, very, very easy to understand. The switch between the EVF and the LCD, very simple, it's right there where you put your thumb when you're using the lens anyway, the EVF. When you change the dial, it comes up on the screen and tells you what that dial is for. So, for example, I'm going to put it onto P, and you'll see there. It says automatic mode. Hang on, sorry. Automatic mode with program setting. See, and it tells you what exactly it's for, and then it switches to the camera. Now, as I say, if you have never used a DSLR before or something like it, you know, this is the perfect camera to get because it does bridge that gap between you know, someone who's used maybe a compact camera or even someone who's used a camera phone most of the time and now wants to get into proper cameras. So that's the bad points. The bad points about this camera are the video zoom, okay, the noise is dreadful, you'll never be able to use that unless you're, you know, at a concert or something where the noise will be drowned out. On the photography side, on the picture side, pictures are very good, but the main concern I have with the pictures is that they do color bleed a lot, okay? So depending on the conditions you're taking the picture, if you're taking an extreme sunshine or anything like that, you will find a lot of color bleed and color leak. Now, I have tested about 200 to 300 photographs on this camera, and I'd say at least 10% of them had color bleed on them. But I got around that problem simply by retaking pictures that I found out to be having that problem. All in all, I give this camera a 6 out of 10. You might think that's low, but I think for the noise of the zoom, when you're in your video mode, it's very, very, very ridiculous noise. And also for the color bleed as well. Also, there's a few other niggles too. The problem with the PSCM modes and things like that, you're never going to learn proper photography if you don't have full control over all the options. The autofocus isn't the best, okay, it does kind of clink and clank and doesn't seem to find targets every now and then, so I took a point off for that as well. Fuji Finepix S4000. My name is Porrick, this is Complete Composition, see you next time.